people that are working in a lot of, like, been working at jobs for years, like, they're losing their jobs when company are posting profits, right? Like, if that ain't a reason to get some fuck you money, like, I don't know
what
a
is.
reason. You dedicate 10, 15 years of your life to a company and they fire you because you're making too much money, but then they turn in profits. You know, what does that say about the brand? What does that say about what they believe in?
How they value you?
1000%.
And we're back with another episode of Fuck You Money with Ty and Yo.
Yeah.
I'm Yo. It's my man Ty.
It's happening.
We are back in Miami.
We are back in Miami.
Yeah.
Yo, they got the documentary for Freaknik. It came out.
It's out now?
It's out. I ain't looked at it yet.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited about this documentary.
For real?
Yes, I am.
Tell me why.
Because, one, I was probably the youngest person at Freaknik, if not one of the youngest.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking I was like in 7th grade.
It's like being a Grady baby. It's such an iconic.
Yeah. I'm gonna sleep at the wheel. I must say, I seen things that I wasn't supposed to see. So I'm looking forward to looking at this documentary.
And you remember it, right? It's like in your...
Very vividly. So this documentary is gonna let me know, like, I was there when it got a little bit, it started to like get shut down more. So that was like 97, 98.
97, 98, yeah.
But then by 99, they had on like, just like blocked it all, Buckhead. It was
you were like the last of the golden era.
1000%.
Okay.
So that's literally popped into my head because I was thinking about that documentary that I'm gonna watch tonight.
You gonna watch it tonight?
Definitely watch it tonight. And yes, it's gonna be really great.
Why do you think Atlanta of all places had something like Freaknik as I guess like an event? Why Atlanta of all places?
Well, it just wasn't Atlanta. Freaknik was nothing but a spring break. So it's just spring break.
But I get like Orange Crush in Savannah. But like Freaknik specifically, like the kind of activities that was involved, I feel like it could have happened in Miami, but it seemed like Atlanta was a central space.
Well, Miami already had something, which was spring break. Like, you know what I'm saying? Atlanta just was better at branding.
Okay, that's what it was. Okay.
It was better at branding than it was. Because spring break still happens. You see Miami starting to shut that down now.
Right.
Because it still happens in a lot of different, Myrtle Beach still have Freaknik. All these places,
my flight into Miami was packed.
Yeah.
Packed.
Yeah, this is right in the middle of spring break, college spring break. So that's all. When you hear people talk about Freaknik, you're going to hear them talk about, I got in my car, we drove from Chicago down to get Freaknik because it was college spring break.
I see what you're saying. It's spring break.
Started as a
But it was like a brand. That would have been like the hashtag, like we had Freaknik.
It would definitely been a hashtag Freaknik for sure. But no, man, we here today, like, it's been a lot of different moving pieces because although we're not a financial forecast type of show, shout out to Earn Your Leisure. And we are paying attention to like different ways on why it's like the aha moments of like having fuck you money.
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
And one of the aha moments for having fuck you money that popped up to me recently was Universal Music Group laid off a bunch of people after posting beneficial in a profitable quarter.
Yep.
Same with Warner Music Group. Spotify laid off a bunch of people. Their stock prices went up. Right.
Yeah.
So like that is very interesting. So what do you think about that? Like how did that, hearing those different things as a journalist who at the media space is kind of falling apart.
Also doing the same thing at the same time. Yeah. It feels like there's no security.
Right.
It doesn't feel like there's any security, especially when I was like 23, 24, the idea was to get a job at one of these big companies for your security.
Right.
For your security. Like, it wasn't just for any reason. Like, nah, this is where you can go and work in music and be secure.
Right.
Like, no one was telling you to be independent. They were telling you to go get a job at a label.
No.
So, seeing that security disappear, I remember seeing somebody tweet the other day, it was like, hey, you need to check on your label people because you might send an email and it might bounce back.
They might bounce back.
And
they're pretty fast with the bounce back emails. Like, they get rid of you and they get rid of you.
Hey, man.
Pop, pop.
Hey man, they take your email from you.
Like it's like your ID, your badge, everything.
Oh man, I'm trying to remember. I had a friend that got laid off, and I think they told me they found out that day, and they had like a couple of hours.
Yeah, you ain't get no contact.
No, you don't get nothing. You get a thank you, maybe.
You gotta have them contacts. So you better put your contacts in your phone when you're working at these companies, because when you gone, that thing cut off.
I had to do a spreadsheet when I left my last job because my email was gone like immediately. I had like an hour, they told me. I still got some contacts I wish I had. I didn't know because it was weird. I didn't get laid off per se, but it was definitely like the company's moving in a different direction.
Yeah,
and
give me that domain, nigga. It's my domain.
I don't care how long you've been here. But
I need that domain.
bruh, no. Hey, you out the Slack. Like, yo, it's a complete closeout. And then, yo, it's kind of funny when you work from home and you kind of have that situation. It's not even like a clearing out the office. You just have no access.
Your
access is gone.
So how does it like I've been fired from clients before, right? Yeah. But I never been fired from a at home job.
It's weird, bro.
Like, it's weird. What do you like? You clean your room up?
Yes, bro. You do.
You get fired and you just start cleaning up your room.
I'm telling you, I tell people this all the time. When I quit Olive Garden, I had to close on New Year's Eve. So when I had to lock the doors, it was literal fireworks. So I'm like, yeah, nigga, my life about to be amazing. Yo, when I left DJ booth, it was just a day. The sun was out. I was in my room. I was confused because I was like, well, what do I do now?
What do I do next?
Yeah, but I noticed that things were different because I was out the Slack channel.
Yeah.
My email was gone. Like, my DJ booth email does not work no more. Like, it's finished, finito. And I was like, dang, I'm back on my Gmail now. Like, this feel like being unemployed as nigga.
I wonder who job it is for cleanup duty on the Gmail.
Yeah, I wonder.
And the Slack.
Somebody
it can't be the same person that fired you.
No, well, maybe, because depending on who's around. But I said all that to say, I wasn't prepared for that to happen. So when you're on the other side of like a layoff, or even if you separate from a company that you've been with for a long time, that what's next mentality is kind of weird because everything you built is for somebody else's company. Yeah. You don't get back none of the stuff you made.
V said there's IT people, they be on deck. They hit that text.
For real?
I'm about to fire him. I need you to get this done at this time. They get you out of here.
Wow.
IT people against you.
See, and that's the worst ones I have to get. But again, I don't think no one's prepared. Like, how do you prepare for it?
So did you have anybody that you knew that was affected by any of the entertainment, rather it was media, journalism, companies, music business, Spotify? Do you?
Few people, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. I knew a young woman that was at RCA, I believe, or one of the Sony subsidiaries, and she was there for like a year and then got laid off suddenly. Did not know she was going to be laid off. And when it happened, I think it was, first off, she was like embarrassed. She didn't want to tell nobody because it was like, I worked so hard to get this job. I was so forward-facing about this job. Now I ain't got this job no more. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna come clean. This couch getting too comfy, bro. Like,
you feeling cozy?
I'm feeling too cold around this thing.
Well,
right?
but tell me, Ty,
do some jumping jacks.
Is it independence supposed to be comfortable for you? Because who's gonna lay you off?
The way I get laid off is bad karma. Bad karma lays me off, right? When you're independent and you have a business and you are an entrepreneur, your only boss outside of your, who you believe in from a God, or whatever your spiritual journey is, but your real boss in the worldly world is your consumers, right? That's one of the things where I think that a lot of the companies get wrong, whether you're a touring company, whether you are a distribution company or a record label or a marketing company. Like, the artist is building up a fan base of bosses because the fans are your boss. The moment the fans don't like what the company is doing, they cannot support the company. The moment the artists or the fans don't like what the artist is doing, they stop supporting the artist, right? And so for me, I'm always thinking about the consumer experience because that is our boss, right? So if it's a person like for instance, we had a situation where our merchandise company went bankrupt, right? And they went bankrupt in December when everybody was getting like
laid
it's off.
Yeah.
No, nobody's laid off. That's like when it's dead in the music business, right?
Oh, that time, yes, sir.
So I got pinged by ex-employee like, hey, they're going under. Did you get your merchandise? And I'm reading the text message like, what? Now, mind you, I had already been interviewing companies because I was gonna pivot anyway. Because I just feel like from a global perspective, they wasn't servicing us from a merchandising element that we really truly would need to be serviced. Mm-hmm. So I was already exploring different ways to kind of expand the business or at least be able to keep that company honest. A week before they was filing bankruptcy, they had a call with me about doing a new deal, right? So I was like, hey, when I'm ready, I'll bring it to the table to you. But like, obviously you're going to be the first one we bring it to because we already in business.
Right.
But we're going to shop it around and make sure that we're in the right place. I said, but as of today, we're not going on tour until 2025. So it's not really a merchandise deal to be had around touring, right? So I thought they took that pretty easy, but I was on the phone with one of their potential investors. So I don't know if that motherfucker was like, yeah, pull the plug on this shit because they're not going to be able to get any business with them. And I don't know what the other thought process of it was. But the reason I bring up that story is when they started cleaning house because of the bankruptcy police came to that motherfucker, there was a lot of fans left unserviced, right? That we're just now, this happened in end of December. We're just now at the end of March, early April, servicing all of those fans that purchased merchandise that did not get their merchandise, right? We had to go through all of the data, blindly make a decision on who got their stuff and who didn't. Because when you go through something like that, the data was saying, okay, these things been shipped, right? But with that type of system, when it says shipped, doesn't mean that it was actually shipped. That means that it's shipped and they're finna go ship it. Right. So that shipping could have been sitting somewhere and never made it out to the doors because all the employees quit when they realized that, the company's going under and they ain't gonna get a paycheck and all those different things.
It could have been shipped in the system, but it might not have physically been shipped yet.
Exactly. So yeah, so I personally think that when you're independent, you got to make sure your fan is the boss. And that's how you stay employed.
Right.
Because you still are an employee. It just feels and look differently. You got more free time. I'm not going to say you got a lot more free time because sometimes you work harder for yourself than you would for the job.
Now, because we have Fuck You Money now, right, which is a platform for us to talk about these things.
Yeah.
Do you believe that if you didn't have culture, but let's say you were working at like a label or you were working for a different company, would you have your own like podcast? Would you have your own brand outside of that company?
I would have to assume I would, right? The funny shit about it is, bro, I tried to work at record labels, so many record labels. I've had interviews, all of these different things, right?
Yeah.
And they just never fuck with me.
Never?
Like, literally, I am a case of back then, you didn't want me. I'm literally that case because I literally tried to work at record labels. I tried to work at publishing companies. I tried to work at, I tried to get a record deal. You know what I mean? I tried to get a part. All of these things I tried to get, and they just wasn't fucking with me.
That's
right.
Yeah.
And then when you started to realize, like, man, I can just probably just do this on my own. And you don't know how liberating doing it on your own feels until you're actually in the middle of it. And you're like, man, you know what? I like this. I'm only getting $2,000 a month, but it's my own work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm only getting $4,000 a month, but nobody control me and tell me what to do. That money comes like on time every month.
Yeah.
And it ain't a lot of money, but it's my money.
And it's controlled.
And it's based off of a percentage thing. It's not based off of a set rate, set fee. So you're like, you can fuck around and be like making $4,000 one month, and then in 10 months, making $40,000. And if you're making $40,000 a month.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what job you can
Hey,
get.
man, listen. You're making 40 bands a month. You should be very, very grateful because in 2 months, that's $80,000. $80,000 a year is what the top 20% or top 25% of what people make in the United States of America.
In 2 months.
In 2 months.
I guess when you put it that way, it's interesting how when I was writing, I was getting a job offer at the end of every year. Like, I guess that was like my December would always be some type of job offer.
Right.
I would say I worked at DJ Booth for 5 years. So 4 of the 5 years, I got job offers. And at the end of 1 year, I got a book deal for the first book I put out. So I always felt good toward the end of the year.
Right.
Right. But the companies that were trying to hire me all have had massive layoffs in the years later. Because I never took the jobs. I never took any of them. They all wanted me to move to New York. They all wanted me to, and like relocating to New York and making the money they wanted to offer me didn't make no sense. Because, you know, in Atlanta, you get a 2-bedroom for mad cheap and be living pretty good on a decent salary. But in New York, I was going to have to pay a lot more money and the salary wasn't, to me, competitive enough.
Yeah.
So
New York could do it to you.
But I feel like if I would have took any of those jobs, I would have probably been the last hired, first fired type situation. And I can only talk about that in retrospect versus I feel like what I'm doing now with like Fuck You Money Rap Portraits, definitely not the same amount of money I was making, but the freedom to make the things you want to make and the possibility of what they have for your future, a way larger, way higher scale, in my opinion. And yeah, but that took years to develop.
The possibility of your future is a very key thing, right? Like, when we talk about fuck you money, when we talk about like financial freedom, everything starts with education and a work ethic.
Yes, sir.
Right? Education and a work ethic can kind of get you through pretty much any uncomfortable situation pertaining to your life. If you get educated about the things that you're passionate about and you're willing to work hard towards those things, now we're talking about when you read something, you get educated about, let's say, Bob Proctor, and speaking into existence and writing things down and reading it every day, right? Now you're doing the work, right? So you're getting educated, you're doing the work.
Yeah.
Getting educated, you're doing the work, right? Now, when you actually do the work, there's some level of discipline underneath that. Because you gotta have a certain level of discipline to be like, you know what? I'm finna get this thing popping. I'm not finna let them defeat me. I'm not finna feel like I can't get this done. I'm not gonna feel like I can't get those different things done. So I'm curious about, and I would love to interview somebody that was laid off from a company that felt like they had a substantial role in the company.
Right.
And then I would want to learn about what was their fallback. Like what was their was it to go get another job?
Did they have a fallback? Yeah.
To get another job? Did they have a side thing they were squeezing on? They was like, you know what I'm saying? You're right.
Did you have a severance type of package? My OG, Nathan Slavik, who was editor at DJ Booth, he ended up getting a job like in our 3rd year when I was there, and he ended up leaving the company. But he got laid off super early at his next job. But he ended up having a severance package, and he built out a production company that he started to run. Now he's a teacher. But what he did with the severance and the company he built, I thought was super cool. He would hit me up. I would do copy edits for him, all types of stuff. But like, I never imagined that happening for him because I thought he was good at his job. So I thought he was going to roll over to this new role and get it popping over there. But that did not happen. So I think of people like him that's like, you're very talented at what you do, very skilled, but you can go to another job and not be there for nothing but a couple months.
Well, a lot of times is if a person can get ahead of it, sometimes they can hire up, right? And what that means is, you know, they're getting qualified for positions that they're not qualified for. Right? Then they got to show and prove it. And because you're never cutting anybody that's making you money.
No.
It's very, very rare that a smart businessman is cutting somebody that's making them money. Only way you're going to cut them if you feel like what they're doing money-wise, anybody can do.
But do you feel like if your company's making money and this person's getting paid a lot of money though for what they do, and you cut them, do you feel like you cut them because you know that you have a system that's working and that you'll end up making more money in the long run without having to pay their fee? Or like, how does that work when it's actually somebody that is very talented? They do make you money, but also it's like they cost you a lot of money.
I mean, it just all depends on the lifestyle of the owners. When motherfuckers get laid off and all that different type of things, and they making money, that just signifies that they see that there's going to be a correction happening, or they don't want to take no hit from their dividends. So they're like, the call comes from the top. Yo, you got to get rid of some of these motherfuckers, man. We paying this person too much money, or they've been here long enough. Trying to get somebody for that same role for $40,000 less. These are business decisions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But do you feel like that? How do you make business decisions and still value the human person?
I mean, shit. I think making sure that you find ways to try to take care of them, rather you giving them a severance or you're like giving them a job recommendation or whatever the case may be. But it's important that you kind of figure out how to help people that's through that hard times, especially when you're the owner and you know that you got like something you can fall back on.
I feel that. I was talking to, we got a young kid working with us on the rap portrait side. He about 23 years old now, right? And he was telling me the other day about how he found out about me. He was 16 years old and he had this kid that wanted him to shoot a music video for him. He's never shot a music video. I was like, so you shot the music video? He was like, yeah, bro, I just did what I wanted to see. So I guess he did such a good job. The kid asked him like, hey, will you be my manager? And the kid was like, so yo, I had to try to read everything I could find about being a manager. He came across the Coach Playbook interviews, all that stuff. So he's 16.
Oh, wow.
Trying to get all this information just because somebody asked him to be his manager, right? And I was like, bro, I can't believe you were 16 years old with that much like ambition to try and pursue something that you had no idea what to do. And now you're in this position where you care enough to want to learn, right? And I feel like you got to kind of keep that energy when you're 26, when you're 36, when you're 46, that like, I want to learn and I'll go out there and get the information so I can do it well, I can do it efficiently. Because I felt like with someone like him, I was like, man, you always going to have a job. You always going to be able to make something shake with somebody because you did the right thing. Like, you didn't just like, all right, I'm your manager now, so
what's up?
You know what I'm saying? Like, you like, no, you went and you were like, I'm about to find out how to be the best manager I can be because you believed in what this person's talent was. So he's 23 now, doing very well at a position that he's not managing no more. But like he's using the same skill sets to help us build what we building for the next iteration of Rap Portraits. And I just like super blessed to have him because he's just like, he's a go-getter. Like this kid, he hungry. Kid from New York.
At 16, he's like, he already shoot music videos. You know and nobody, like, I don't even know how to shoot it. I'm just going to pick up a camera.
I'm going to pick, exactly.
And shoot what I see.
Directing people, exactly. Like, I just thought that, but when you get older, I do believe you kind of lose that sense of I can just do it. I can just do it. You kind of come up with reasons why maybe I probably don't know how to do this, or it'll probably take too long to learn. Like, you start to tell yourself far more excuses.
Oh, you just don't want to do that shit, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You just don't want to do it. Like, as you get older, the thought process of it is to do less.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Now, if you are making money, you want to make the money, but you want to make sure that the money ain't aging you. Right? So you still want to have some of that fuck you money, even when you're older, so you can say, I don't want to do this. Fuck that. Right? But some people work very, very old into their older age. It's hard to retire. There's a lot of moving pieces around, you know, the concept of, I guess you would say, how much money you're making, right? Or how much money you can make, or you're working really, really hard to get to this age that you can just lay back, kick it, chill, right?
Yeah.
But some of the time people get laid off before then, right? Some of the times, they quit the job to go out and jump to do something new, do something fresh that they think can be the next thing.
Yeah.
Some of it work out, sometimes it don't.
Yeah.
So,
I got I got this story. It's a bit of a weird story, but you gotta stick with me here.
Okay.
I was talking to this young woman who was about to turn 30, right? Now, she was a dancer at a club in Atlanta.
Okay. What club?
Now, I can't tell you that.
Okay.
Ain't chopping nobody's business all the way out there. But she was telling me, I asked her who was the oldest dancer at the club, and there was a lady that was 50.
What?
She said she was 50. She told me this. Yo, son,
get the fuck out of
she
here.
said she come here like she's the baddest bitch every day. She had regulars that would come in there just for her, right?
At 50?
Yeah, that's what she said.
So they gonna see some 50-year-old stripper pussy?
Man, look, man. She was there, okay? I'm just saying she was there.
So,
hold on.
I gotta say something about strip club really quick, right? So, she was there, right? It's right there we're gonna start. So, being, like, for me, strip clubs, growing up in Atlanta, I don't like dancers being naked, right?
Okay.
So in my mind, a 50-year-old woman butt naked in front of me is just gonna throw me all the way off, right? I'm there for the theatrics. I'm there for the wardrobe, all those different things, right? So I just wanted to say that.
I'm glad you put it that way. I've never heard no one say that before.
So I ask for dances and I want to keep the actual clothes on.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh yeah, I like the overall.
The costume.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm at a fashion show. You know what I'm saying? I'm at a beauty fashion show, right? But go ahead,
I'm glad you said that, Ty. That is a great thing to know about you. So she's like, but at 29, she's dealing with girls that's coming in at 18. So to them, she's grandma.
Yeah, she is.
At 29.
She grandma to me. In that world.
So I remember talking to her about like these two girls. They had a routine where they would come in and get guys and one be in the front, one be in the back. And she said they get their bills paid every time they come to work.
Wow.
But she was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not pitting that type of role playing when I come to work. And we were just talking about like the idea of like aging out and like she was like, I'm still young. I'm only turning 30, but here I'm already like 50.
Oh yeah, 30 at a strip club?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're a grandma. And shout at great grandma.
Yes.
1000%.
But I just think about like there's people in positions too where they got young people coming in and they might be feeling older inherently. Like you work in tech right now and you might be 35, 36 and there's somebody learning about AI that's 18. You know what I'm saying? You might look at them not just as a competitor, but you might feel like I'm a dinosaur compared to who's coming in behind you. So I think that's even more reasons why the older you get, you gotta have some fuck you money.
Yeah.
Because the spaces you work in, like there's people that's young and hungry that they just got a fuck you energy. Like they coming in to just,
they're trying
you know what I'm saying? And like the older you get, it's just, you just don't have, she told me, she's like, I'm all out of adventures. And when she said that, it really clicked. Like, I was like,
yo,
I'm all out of, I was like, oh, that's such a bar.
I think I'm going to use that as I get older. Yeah. I'm all out, tell my girlfriend, I'm all out of adventures. I'm all out of adventures.
You know, when she told me that, I died. All right, now to put all of it on blast, but this is my favorite part of the story. She was trying to get out the club through like crypto and Bitcoin. So she had a bunch of like Dogecoins. When it was like,
she was trying to
yeah. But this at the time where it was everybody told you like hold on to it, right? Like if you got some, hold on to it because it's gonna pay off. But she was like, but my anxiety though. She said, I'm in the crib going crazy because it's like I don't know if I'm about to hit big and never have to dance again, or if I'm about to lose everything and move back in with my mama.
Oh, so drastic change.
So she told me that she ended up folding and she sold too soon. Did not strike it big and she was back dancing at the club. But she said her anxiety was much better without having the pressure of being like every day waking up and looking at trying to figure out you about to hit or not.
So I'm going to come clean for you. Like, a stripper with anxiety?
Yeah.
That's the wrong place to work.
Yeah. It's Atlanta, though.
It's the wrong place to work.
You'll be surprised. I didn't seen a couple strips with anxiety. The show.
But this episode was sponsored by a strip club that we cannot name.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So,
but yeah, I mean, I just think that a lot of people probably have anxiety when it comes to how they're gonna make their money, how they're gonna make their living these days. And like, especially with layoffs, your anxiety is probably at the highest.
I mean,
so you want to make proper investments so that you can secure your future. I believe that. But I also know that you got to build things that's a little bit more secure than Dogecoin.
So this conversation is just going left for real. And the reason why I'm saying is because now I'm curious if like strip clubs lay off.
Ooh.
Like, do they post a profit and then lay off the strippers?
Ooh. Have you ever met an unemployed stripper?
I don't think I met an unemployed stripper before. I've only met employed strippers or ex-strippers.
I guess it's kind of the...
I never really like...
They got to have a high turnover though, right?
I mean, I guess so. Shit, I guess.
I mean, if you age out at Target, if you age out at 29, your turn
obviously because Shawty 50 and she's still in there. I guess there's always a place for somebody that ran out of adventures.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know what? I'm gonna do my research. I'm gonna do my homework.
So I like to do this thing where I go through the AI and I'll ask the average age of like things.
Really?
So I'm like, what's the average age of the defense for the Atlanta Falcons, right? Because I'm just curious about silly shit like that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be on AI and I'm gonna ask them what's the average age of a stripper.
Please.
That's probably dancing in Atlanta, Georgia.
We're gonna post it in the description of this video.
We're gonna see what the AI tells.
Oh, yes. Okay. Right? What's your guess?
The average age of a stripper in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes, sir.
I would say 24 and a half.
I would say between 21 and 25.
21 and 25. That's a range.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I would say 22.
Okay, 22.
About 22.
22 is the average, right? V, you smaller though. What did you get some information?
So I can't use this knowledge because they're talking about Claremont Lounge.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
Right.
Lounge, the average age for dancers is around 53.
See? Yeah, so we're not sponsored by Claremont Lounge. Just so we're clear. So we're clear about that one.
Most strippers are done by the age of 30.
Okay, so
by the age of 30, you're done.
That sounds like a good number to just call it up.
Yeah.
Like, you know what?
By that
in my 20s, I've discovered what I don't want to do.
Yeah.
You know, in my 30s, I got to find my husband.
How many more adventures can you have in your 30s? You shouldn't have that many. Not in the strip club.
Not in the strip club.
Not strip club. No. You want to expand your life.
You should have already seen all the things that you would want to see to get you out of the strip club. Men and women.
Men and women.
So we're not just going to put this on women.
Yeah,
There's men. No. There should not be no 50-year-old man.
You should not. You should.
So we're clear.
Equal opportunity.
Equal opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you know the wildest shit I seen that I was like, it was actually hilarious. Did you see Gilbert Arenas? I know we don't got that much time, but you seen the Gilbert Arenas shit? Yo, Gilbert Arenas is a wild boy, B. Yo, I was looking at that shit and I was like, I was laughing, but I wasn't laughing. I was like, yo, are they supposed to laugh at this? And then Salsa was like, you know, Salsa Antenna was like, hit on the two, like, yo. That nigga was like, yo, listen, B, what's up? I've been trying to get at you. Yo, Gilbert Arenas can't be mad if Salsa is in them DMs, man.
No, he can't.
You open up that door so wide that nobody know what to do. Even his talk host was like, whoa. He put out the money. He was like, I keep the money. I only got them stacks.
God, bro.
And he said a good show is a good show, and that's what I agree.
A good show is a good show.
I agree with him about that. A good show is a good show. Now, I don't want to see all the good shows.
Right,
but the concept that he was speaking towards, I do agree. Do not be biased. A good show is a good show. A man that's 50 years old should not be stripping. And a woman that's 50 years old, they should not be stripping. Now, if they have glamour lounges of the world, they will be.
Yep, because that's a niche.
That is a very niche strip club.
Yes, right. Yeah. So, you know, if that's what your thing is, there's somewhere you can go. But the average person should understand that at a certain age, you want to age out of things.
Yeah. I mean, because the type of activities you have to do as any type of dancer, and just so that we're clear, I don't think nobody should be playing football at 50 years old, too. So let's just go outside of stripping. Right. I don't think you should be playing football at 50 years old. I don't think you should be playing basketball professionally at 50 years old.
Right.
I think anything that deals with your body having to do a lot of different things. You shouldn't be a gymnastic at 50 years old. So I wanted to make sure I'm clear. This ain't just about 50-year-old
I think you're being very fair. I think you're being very fair. But there are things you can do at 50.
Yes,
right?
Like play poker.
Yeah.
You can golf at 50.
Yes.
You can play chess at 50, right?
Be SVP at a label.
You can be SVP at a label.
1,000%.
I mean, so you can kind of get out of touch, but I think
you can't be out of touch. But that's why if you have some young people around,
you gotta have the young people.
And I think that's why, again, like talking to the kid about what he want to do at 16. Again, meeting him now at 23 and working with him.
Like he know what he was doing. What he was.
Yeah,
he was doing it at 16.
Yeah,
he wasn't like brainstorming.
Nah, he was active. He was active.
Yeah.
But again, it's like those are the type of people you want to surround yourself with. That's going to keep you active and young as you do get older in certain industries. But I think that's why the layoffs are so kind of disheartening, because it stops you being able to grow in certain places. It cuts your growth off completely.
And I do think that it's harmful to the younger people at the company if you're laying off experience. Because what you're telling the younger employees is that your tenure here don't really matter, right? It's easy to justify, you're the last one in, you're the last one out. But it's hard to justify somebody that's been there for like 15, 20 years. And you're looking at it, and people that's like, dang, they got rid of you. You're automatically creating a workplace that's going to breed turnaround.
Yeah.
That if the person that's done dedicated 10 years, 15 years to this company, and they're doing a good job, if they're just terrible, then we're not talking about.
They can go. But
if they're doing a good job, they're leading and they're like being an influential role model for the younger talent, grooming the younger talent, and then they get let go like that, it can kind of be a bit disheartening for what kind of environment that the company actually is creating.
Yeah.
But get you some fuck you money. You can do whatever you want to do at 50.
Yeah, and that's the goal, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm turning 40 soon, and 55 is my number. At 55, I'm going to be mentoring, playing golf, probably betting on sports, playing baccarat, and I'm going to probably be fishing.
Hold on. Tell me this before we go. Who was Ty at 33?
33, I was in a relationship. I was in a relationship that I thought I was in a relationship. So 33, that means that this is 2024. That was 7 years ago, almost 7 years ago. So that was like, that was like 2017. So we're talking about prime, like building up grind. I had a girlfriend that I thought that I was gonna, by that time I figured that we wasn't gonna get married because she didn't want to have kids. So at 33, bro, my head was down and I was building out what is talked about in this book. That was what was happening. I was so hyper-focused. I really wasn't. Maybe that I had interacted with 2 women during that time frame on all levels.
On all levels?
On all levels. Rather it was sexual, it was like 2, because I had too many jobs, man, to be thinking about sex or
anything.
Gambling. Or, all I was thinking about was like, this has to work. So at 33 years old, I was hyper dedicated to what I was trying to achieve at the moment.
I'm turning 33 in May. That's I'm feeling.
Yeah, man. I mean,
but it feels 33 is interesting for me because I think at 30, I thought I was going to understand exactly where my life was going. Because I had a job at 29 going into 30.
Right.
So then it was like 30 hit, there's no job, but I was working on this book with you.
Right.
So it was like, all right, well, this seems like it makes sense.
Right.
And then we had the rap poetry and we had all this stuff, but everything was so new at the time. It felt like I had twins. I feel like I just gave birth to twins.
Right.
And it's like, all right, I got this kid right here. I got this kid over there. Also, I ain't got no money. So
and just so we clear, we ain't made that much money off this yet.
No, not yet.
So this is a future investment.
Hey, let me tell you, having future investments at 30 kind of scare you. I thought this was going to be working already. You know what I'm saying? But it was humbling. It was really humbling for things to not be so fast. Because it let me know that all right, well, you need to scale back how fast you think this is gonna work and think about where you wanna be at 40. So that way you don't gotta be worried about like, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. I was just talking to somebody about, like not having kids already, right? And some people like, you need to have some kids. I got kids.
I know, right? Yeah, people will push the kids on you. But another thing about the Culture Playbook Volume 1 is that we're working on Volume 2.
Yep.
And the Volume 2, a lot of this stuff is really a labor of love because the book has not been profitable from a financial perspective.
Right.
But it has added so much wisdom into people's lives and journey. And that's what it's going to be over time. So this might not even make us real money until like 5 years from now because some little kid send it viral and it goes
100%.
Shoot up the fucking
100%.
top seller shelf or
100%.
somebody buy a back catalog, whatever the case may be. But see, it's really great.
I didn't understand that at first. I'm thinking, we dropped the article, you met Jay-Z. We drop a book, I might meet, goddamn, I don't know.
Spike Lee.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here thinking like, we about to be at the bank, $1 million. You know what I'm saying? I'm just sitting here thinking that 1 equals 1 million. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Again, you drop a book and it's growing over time, but it's, like I said, it's just, the girl boss lady that Susie was telling us about how she
sold 1 million books
after her first company failed.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh man, you don't really know what might trigger the thing that sends you off to, you know what I'm saying? Like being, at least selling a lot of things in the market. But yeah, man, I'm trying to chill out. Just the concerns.
Man, chill out, man. We back.
You know what I'm saying? This is Fuck You Money.
It's Fuck You Money once again.
I can't tell you what we're sponsored by, but, come fuck with us.
And make sure you watch Freaknik.
Yeah.
Leave some comments.
Yeah.
On any episode. Leave the comments because the Freaknik, I think it's already out.
I think it is, yeah.
And then, we organize, so we film on the schedule. So comment anywhere about Freaknik. We're curious to hear what you think.
Yeah. Peace.